Welcome, everyone, to the Hey Hannah podcast. We are so excited that you decided to join us again this evening. This podcast is dedicated to honoring the memory of my beloved daughter, Hannah. And it's not just another podcast, it's a space where we come together to remember her. And when she left, there were just so many conversations that were left unsaid and so much wisdom and guidance that I wished I had the chance to impart on her. So that's why the podcast was born. It's a place for us to have conversations that I dreamed about having with her, sharing lessons of faith, personal growth, and anything that really just would have enriched her life. So through Hey Hannah, we get an opportunity to touch the lives of you, our listeners, Hannah's Hive, ignite some hope and resilience in you, and hopefully get the conversation going to empower you and challenge you to overcome any challenges that you are experiencing in life. So today, we have a very, very special guest, my BFF, Rachel Hinton. She has accomplished so many amazing things. She is definitely a woman that I would have wanted Hannah to look up to and learn from, because there's just so much that you can learn from her. And not only that, not only is she smart and talented, but she is just an awesome, wonderful person. So I'm going to stop talking so we can give her a chance to introduce herself, and then we'll get into some of the fabulous things that Rachel has accomplished. So, Rachel, thank you
Hey,
for coming. I appreciate
thank you
it.
so much
Tell
for
us a little
having
bit
me.
about
It's
you.
it's an honor to be a part of this whole mission that you have for baby Hannah. Just such an honor. So, um, she gave me this great introduction. I don't even know how to come back from that. But my name is Rachel. I'm an author. I'm a mom. I'm a motivational speaker, and I guess you could say a teacher too, because I enjoy sharing my experiences with others, so
Yes.
and showing them how I have accomplished things and motivated other people, like-minded people like myself.
Absolutely. So now I'm going to pause a minute because you do want to grab some paper and a pen and take some notes, because, as she said, she loves to educate people on how she's accomplished things, and she has accomplished a lot. So if you're thinking about writing a book, grab your pen, some paper, or just anything else, because you will definitely learn something from tonight's podcast episode. Now, a few things that we are going to touch base on. As Rachel already mentioned, she does have a book. She wrote this book to educate other individuals in the field of business on how they can really be trailblazers in their industry. So, we're going to get some tips from her about not only strategies for writing a book, but some ways that you can just help yourself move forward with business. So, we'll talk about that. She's also completed her MBA. She has her own boutique, Rejoyce Boutique, which is a wonderful place where you can get some cute, fancy outfits. If you're going somewhere, jazz things up with some earrings, some accessories, you definitely want to check Rejoice out. And she also has just had some life experiences that I think we all can relate to. Not only is she a single mother, but she is an exceptional mother as well, just really pouring so much into her child. I admire a lot of what she does with her son. And so we definitely want to take some time to learn from her about these things. So, Rachel, just jumping in, one thing that really inspires me is that you took a leap of faith. You're originally from Mississippi and just completely moved away from family to just kind of set your own path. Can you just tell us a little bit like how you got the courage to actually do that? Go from thinking it in your mind to like, yes, I'm going to go
Okay, of
ahead
course.
and make this move.
So it wasn't easy at all. Basically, how I was able to get the courage to do it was only by the grace of God. Trusting in God, having a relationship with Him,
Amen.
and just asking God for guidance. Like, God, what is it that you will have me to do? So it wasn't just me up and doing it. It was only by the grace of God. So me coming to the decision to move, I prayed, I asked God to, order my steps and to give me a sign if this was the move that He wanted me to make. So, um, I always tell people the sign that God kept giving me was God communicated with me through His Word, through Scripture. So I kept receiving the word Joshua 1 and 9. I would see it in my dream. I would go to the store. I would see a picture. It would have that scripture on it or that, that Bible verse. Um, I would be watching TV. Some kind of way it'll pop up on Facebook. So he was clear that,
God was clear.
don't be afraid. Don't be discouraged. I'll be with you wherever you go. So I was like, whether I stay in my current situation or decide to explore outside of my comfort zone, God will be with me wherever He goes. So I was just thinking, well, if He's going to be with me regardless, why not jump out of my comfort zone and see what other opportunities or things that God have in store for me. So that was how I kind of based my decision to move to an entire state. So I'm from Mississippi, but I was living in Alabama. So I moved from Alabama to Texas. Um, and it wasn't easy. But I just put my trust in God, and it wasn't just smooth. It was a lot of ups and downs and rocky roads along the way. But God kept His word. He's been with me and my son throughout the entire time.
That is awesome. I love that you mentioned that God speaks to you through scripture. And I think that's so important to highlight because a lot of times people are like, I don't hear from God, or, I'm looking for a sign. What's God going to say? And we think He's going to be like, hey, this
No,
God. But that's not really going to happen. God is speaking through us, through scripture and through His word. So thank you so much for saying that. I'm sure you've helped somebody with that, just like on getting clarity on different ways that you are going to hear from God. So that's
yes,
definitely important to bring up. All right, good deal. So you got to Texas, we made the move. And then in somewhere in the meantime and all that, you wrote a book and you completed your MBA. How in the world did you juggle all these things? Like, I don't know which one we should talk about first, school or the book. Like, which one do you, which one do you want to jump into first? But I definitely would love to hear about both of them. I have a goal of writing a book one day, so I'm interested in soaking up any advice you have about that. And how did you decide you wanted
okay.
to do
So
either one of those things?
with the MBA, I have always had a goal of completing my master's degree. Um, I was actually telling a story to one of my friends. I was talking to talking to her grandson, and I was telling him that, believe it or not, I was a I was a troubled child. My mom, she died when I was a teen, when I was 16, and I wasn't a horrible student, but I wasn't the best student. Because I had so much things going on as a child. I was very rebellious.
Yeah.
So I can just remember in high school, I had got in trouble because I was a I was a rebellious child, so I stayed in trouble. So I had this one principal um, in high school, and he knew me, my family, he knew my family, he knew me, he knew my current situation. So he would always have talks with me. And I can remember one time I went into the office, I was in trouble, and he said, Rachel, listen, I understand your situation, but education is so important. He said that no matter what people say about you, if you get your education, they can never take that away from you. So sometimes we think children don't isn't really listening to what you're saying, or just it's going through one ear and out the other, but that's
Yeah.
not always the case. children really listen. So, because I really took that in, and that's just something that always stuck with
Yeah.
me. Regardless of my circumstances, or
Mhm.
regardless if I'm not the best of student, I know I'm smart, and if I pace myself, I know that I can accomplish this. And no matter what, people cannot take that away from me that I'm educated. So just hearing that advice from him, it stuck with me the entire throughout my life
Mhm.
still. So I decided to, I knew that I was going to go all the way, to at least a master's degree. So with that being a goal in mind,
Yeah.
I just basically just discipline myself and pace myself to. I knew that was a goal that I wanted to accomplish, so I knew I had to, no matter how long it took, because it took me about 7 years to complete my master's degree, and that I was a single mom. Now that wasn't
Mhm.
7 years straight. That's just me going off and on and
Yeah.
trying to complete it. So I would just give anybody the advice, no matter how long it takes you, just keep going and you can get it up. You can. So and then
Absolutely.
that was one of my motivations to wanting to get my master's degree. That advice that the principal gave to me in high school, and also my son, I wanted to be an example to him. I wanted to show him that, look, mama accomplished it, so you'll be able to accomplish it too. I wanted to, just be a role model to him, and show him that it can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's phenomenal. I was thinking as you said that, about your principal pouring into you and just taking that time to say, "Hey, I recognize your situation, but I want to give you some advice and pour into you to hopefully, kind of get you on the right path." Do you feel like because he took time for you, that's part of the reason that you have such a joy and desire to pour into and
Yes,
take time to help
definitely.
motivate others?
Like I just mentioned, I did have a hard childhood. And if it wasn't for some of the people that God placed in my life to um, give me guidance and speak positivity in me, I don't know if I would be the person I am today. So it's very important to keep that in mind. Like when you come in contact with people, especially children, you never know what a
Yeah.
person is going through. So you always want to speak positivity into
Yeah.
people, or just be kind, because you never know what a person's situation is. The principal could have been, mean to me, thinking that I'm just this trouble child, or just a child that's rebellious and want to act out. But no, he took the time out to figure out like what's going on at home. So during that time, my mama was sickly. She was very sickly. So with that,
Yeah.
and on me, of course, my way of releasing my pain or whatever I'm going through was acting out, you know, uh, fighting and stuff like that. So he would just sit down and talk to me. And I had a lot of good people in my life in the school system. I had a teacher,
Yeah.
which I would call my grandma. She would really pour into me as well, and tell me that I'm smart and that I can do. She know that I'm gonna do great things and stuff like that. And that really gave me confidence. And and I still think about those things even now as an adult.
That's wonderful. I always hear great stories about the school system, so it's good to hear like a definite win. I would say how you were being hit from every angle with positivity and just encouragement to help you move along. And as you said, like God placed so many people in your life through, I'm sure, like even such a tragic and devastating time. It's interesting to look back and see like how God still has stuff in place sometimes just to kind of
Yeah,
keep us like that safety net to kind of hold you together, even though it can feel like sometimes things around you are falling apart. And I think too, like what you said about children, like we think children aren't listening. But a lot of times, I think that applies to adults too. Like when I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but I've met some mean grown people, and I think it's just because like we want to feel seen, we want to feel acknowledged. Like somebody sees me, I am
Yeah.
important, I matter. That type of thing. It reminds me of that. What's that movie? Uh, you know what I'm talking about. When she says, I can't think of the movie. I'll think of it later. But it reminds me of that line now when
Oh,
she's
the
telling
help.
the little girl about how
The help.
she's smart and important, and we're
Yeah. The
laughing.
help.
Yes, the hell.
You is
She's
kind.
like, you is smart.
Yeah.
And we laughing, but
You is
it's
important.
true. You is kind.
Yeah.
You is important. Yeah, like you just feel good. Like I'm
Yeah.
seen. Yes, I'm smart and I'm important. So, it's I think we're all just looking for that validation, and we want to feel like other people see us and recognize our importance. So I'm thankful for those individuals that poured into your life, and you can definitely see how the seeds that they planted are still
Yeah.
making a difference years and years later. um I want to circle back because we talked about, obviously your mom passing as a teen, which I can't even imagine. And now you have the boutique, Rejoice Boutique. Can you tell us a little bit about like how you decided this was going to be a way that you wanted to honor your mother, and just
So
tell
I
us about that
created
journey?
the boutique. It's called Rejoice. So Rejoice, my mom's name um was Joyce, Joyce, and her middle name was Teresa, but we call her Reese. So I took Joyce, which was my mama's first name, and then I took Re, and I put it together, Rejoice, um, because instead of just being sad about her death, I want to rejoice. I want to, because sometimes we don't understand why God allowed things to happen, but we have to just trust in Him and know that it's He allowed things to happen, whether we understand it or not, for His good. But and I feel like I know that
Absolutely.
my mom's death was sad and everything, but she was very sick, so in a sense, I feel like she's not suffering anymore, and she will want me to, rejoice and to continue having a good
Yeah.
life. So, um, that's how I came up with the name Rejoice, and I wanted to do a boutique because my mom, she loved fashion. She loved to do. She was a fashionista. Let me tell you, and she knew how to do hair, and
Oh
she
man.
just was a girly girl, and I reflect that. I'm the same. I love fashion, I love hair. My
Yeah.
mom actually taught me how I know how to do hair, and she actually taught me how to braid when she was blind. My mom went completely blind when I was 8, so she actually taught me how to braid hair. So she was a girly girl. So I wanted to open my boutique in the honor of her, and also I wanted to use fashion to inspire other women, like inspire women through fashion, because I feel like if you look good, you feel good. So um, that's another way of me pouring back into other women, like with fashion. So that's how I came up with the boutique.
That's awesome. That's such a touching and just heartfelt story. I love how you took like your memories and decided to still have some type of positive aspect that you're looking at with your situation, because like you said, it can be sad, but then you do want to find a way to be happy when you remember your mom, or just ways that you honor her. So I love how you did that. Creating the boutique, and it's a way to rejoice, be joyful about the time that you
Yeah.
did have with her. So that's amazing. Um, so Rejoice Boutique, you said you carry different fashion brands and things like that, how can we find you? Where can we
Okay,
go if we
so
want to get us an
Rejoice, we
outfit from
carry
Rejoice?
small sizes and plus sizes. And you can find my boutique at Rejoice, which is REJOYCE boutique .com. So yeah, check us out. I recently added some new inventory, and I will be adding more soon. So check it out. It's good stuff.
Perfect. So we are
Yeah.
going right on time, right to get the
Oh,
new
and I was
stuff.
gonna
So that was the
go
first.
swing back to my book. So, as you mentioned before, I am an author. I wrote a book called "Get You Some
Hmm.
Business: The Fundamental Steps of Starting a Business," and this is the book here. You can find it on. You can find the book
Okay.
on Amazon. Um, and it's Get You Some Business, and it's just basically giving you the fundamental steps of starting a business. Just giving some tips that I have learned along the way with starting my online boutique. Is like different marketing strategies, things that you would just little fundamental things to get you started up with your business.
Okay. What would you say is the number one thing you would say to someone who is interested in starting a business? Like, what's the
Do it.
first thing you
Um,
would say they need to do?
because just do it. Do research. Do it. Don't let your feelings hold you back. Because um, when I was
Yeah.
starting, I was so lost at first, and also I had thoughts in my head like, what if nobody support me, or what if it doesn't do well? You just need to just push forward. That would be my advice: pushing forward, doing it, just starting it up. Even if it doesn't succeed, at least you can say, I did try. So I just say, do it, research it,
Yeah.
research the area that you want to go into to see, you know, what's in the research, like what's the person in that same industry, like what are their strategies, what are you seeing that they're doing,
Yeah.
and just start implementing what you're seeing and what you're researching.
Okay. Got it. I love that.
Just
Do it.
do it.
Like Nike, just do it if you think about it. All right. So we end each episode with two things. The first thing is the best piece of advice that you have ever received. Share it with us. We want to learn something new today. So, what is your number one piece of advice that you've received through
Um,
life that's just really made an impact?
well, the one I just gave a few minutes ago about um, educate yourself. No about people say anything about you, but they can't say
Yeah.
you're not educated or take that away from you. The second advice I would say is, well, I can't think of any advice. Let me think. Um, I guess keep going. Just do it. Just try it. Even if it doesn't work out, you can at least say that you tried. So
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you know what? You say educate yourself. And in these days, it's like everything is so accessible. There's so much online, University of YouTube, Google University. We have access to so many things. So it's definitely resources out there to take advantage of. So now is as good a time as any to really jump in and educate yourself on
oh
any type
yeah,
of goals you're trying to achieve. So
yeah, for sure.
definitely good
Google was
advice
my
there.
best friend when I was
And
starting my
then
business and Google.
absolutely. Y'all don't discount Google. Please don't discount Google. There's all kind of good stuff out there. All right, the last thing we are going to share is give us an unpopular opinion that you have. Just something that everyone else would agree with, but you don't. So, what's your
My
unpopular opinion
unpopular
you want to leave us
opinion
with?
is I guess that sugar goes on grits. I love salt on my grits.
Oh Lord,
I love
that is
salt
unpopular.
and butter.
There you go. I had sugar on my grits as a kid, but as an adult,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems kind of gross now. Maybe my taste buds evolved,
I should have said no sugar on spaghetti
but I'm
because
over
a
this.
lot of people put sugar on spaghetti, and I don't.
Oh,
Salt goes on spaghetti.
that one too. Oh, here's another one I can think of, even though it's not my turn to share. But spaghetti
Oh
is a
yeah,
full meal. It is not a side
definitely.
item.
Yes.
The first time I saw people cooking spaghetti as a side, it blew my mind. I was like, what
Yes.
do you mean? Chicken
Yeah,
with the
in my house
spaghetti?
it's a full
It's
meal.
done. Exact mine too, that we're
Yeah.
gonna eat for several days
Same.
until it run out. So I don't have to cook. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Tell the people, where can they find you? Where can they follow you so they can know what you are up to next? You're on
Okay,
social media.
so
What are your handles?
you can find me at Rejoyce Boutique on Facebook, Rejoice_Boutique on Instagram, or you can find me at, I guess, Rise Up Podcast. Maya and I also have that podcast as well. And that's it.
We do.
Rejoice Boutique on all handles, um, and Rise Up Podcast.
I will put her contact information in the comments so you could send her an email or just follow her on her social media handles, because you definitely want to make sure you're watching and seeing what she's up to next, because it's something good and it's going to keep you motivated. And we all need a little bit of encouragement every
Oh,
now and then.
wow.
So thank you all for
Amazing
getting.
Ray on
Okay.
YouTube.
Oh, yeah, something else.
Yeah.
I love that name. That's so cute. Amazing Ray on YouTube. Okay, I'll make sure I put that in the comments too, because we definitely want to support our friend. She is now a member of Hannah's Hive with us, so we have to make sure that we're supporting her. Well, thank y'all again for joining us for another episode. We appreciate you always taking the time to come in and learn with us, and hopefully you got to laugh with us a little bit. So until next time, take care.
And that's it. I'm out of here.
Entertainment. entertainment. Fate entertainment.